Ready to go? Okay, go.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Tony. I'm going to talk about Pointbreak. So I don't know what I'm doing in my life, but I seem to spend an awful lot of time in GDB and other debuggers. I found that using a debugger is, especially with a complicated program, is a tedious process. Using a debugger manually, quite often I'll get to the point I want to debug, and then I'll do the wrong thing, and then I have to redo it all. Particularly when you're debugging a complicated program, something unexpected might happen, and again, you have to redo everything. It's really annoying. And also, quite often, I want to not necessarily directly debug something, but monitor something or investigate something in my program, like maybe log something or just use something like a debugger to find out what's going on. So this is Pointbreak. It was a film. The tagline was 100% adrenaline. So my tagline is 100% pure Python. This is what we have at the moment if you want to extend your debugging with something that's scriptable. So you have something like GDB, which is a command line debugger with a Python interface in there and an API that lets you write code. But it's all embedded in the debugger, and you have to use their API. What I would like instead is like a debugger that's just a library in Python that I can write programs against, because then I can build other tools on top of that. So if I had a debugging library, I could build an analyzer that used the debugger to collect information, then a UI to present it to myself or someone else. So what we have at the moment, I think it's okay, but I think that my idea would be way more awesome. So you could do something like you could write a simple program that just looked at, put breakpoints on two methods to collect some information, then like graphed the number of things. So this is like create foo, destroy foo. Then you've got a count of that, the call's total number of foos that exist at any one time. Or you could create something really complicated with like, crazy logic and like reactive breakpoints and investing in all kinds of stuff that would tell you exactly what you've done wrong. That might be too hard, but it's a possibility. So it's a simple demo. Okay, right, with the power of GNOME shell. So here's a really simple C program. It doesn't do anything other than call a function 10 times in a loop. It doesn't print anything. There shouldn't be any output. So if I make that, then I run it. Unsurprisingly, it does nothing. Then this is a, how do I make things small? That one, oh, there we go. So this is a little script written against Pointbreak, my debugger. So I add a breakpoint, which is just a Python function. It's going to print boo each time it hits that C function. There is a ghost. So if we run that, it prints boo 10 times. Dead simple. So it's really early days. I spent about 2 weeks developing this. At the moment, it's Linux 64-bit only. API is still developing. It doesn't yet read dwarf symbols, which would be really useful because that would give you line debugging information and other information about types. The reason it doesn't do that is the parser is too slow, so I'm working on that. It's missing many common debugging features. But yeah, so I'll probably be sticking around for the sprints and maybe working on this, but if you like the idea or you hate the idea, come and say hello.
Thank you very much.